This is Aussie Mac Zone. We'll cover everything Apple, including Macs, iPhones, iPads, and more. All this from an Aussie perspective. Sit back, relax, and insert yourself into the zone. The Aussie Mac Zone.
Hello everybody, welcome to show 270 Aussie Mac Zone. It's sort of the real start of the new year again now because we're lucky enough to have Garth here. How are you, buddy?
I am excellent, Michael. Hello, peoples. Hello, listeners. I won't say viewers because at the moment I've got no video. But
Poor Queensland, mate.
Yeah,
Poor
nice break. How?
Good, mate. Good.
Yeah.
And I'm
It's
glad
not the
you're
whole
back.
of Queensland. It's just where I am.
It's probably because you live near Glenn and he's just sucking all the bandwidth for the south of Queensland.
Exactly. Sucked
It's all
it
the ponies
up.
downloading.
That's right.
We know he's a big sucker, so we can pick on him. He's not here. And that's also, you can hear Zarn, who's back. Hello, Zarn. How are you?
Fantastic, Michael. How you doing, Garth? Hello, listeners. Hello, watchers. Because I do have video. It's great to see you all.
So why weren't you here last week, Zarn?
Because someone I know, namely Kellyanne, had a baby. Who is
One of those
my lovely
red
partner.
screaming loud things.
And that's right. It's the third boy in a long stream of boys.
Well done, son. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm
And,
more proud of Terry Ann, but well
Kellyanne
done, you too.
did a great job.
Yeah.
So speaking as a male, I know he did most of the work. So
That's true. I can say that because she's not here.
I didn't say it. Okay.
They are watching though. I know that. Just because it's come up that they're both watching. So, hello. We're all in trouble.
that's right. So a reminder this week, we are brought to you by AussieTechRadio.com and Aussie Tech Heads Podcasting. And our Aussie Apple ramblings this week start with Tim Cook mingles with Microsoft Satya Nadella at World Economic Forum and touts Apple's education ambitions. So Apple CEO Tim Cook is in Switzerland this week amid the annual Economic Forum. And according to local reports, Mr. Cook has mingled with the Armenian Prime Minister at Davos, as well as Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella, and more. And he also offered an interview with German publication Bild to Talk about Apple's education goals. Now, according to Apple, Tim Cook sat down with German publication Bild this week to talk about Apple's education ambitions. This interview comes on the heels of the company's Everyone Can Create curriculum launching in languages including Germany. In the interview, Cook explained that Apple sees education as a great equaliser. He noted that while not everyone is born with the same resources, everyone is born with creativity. So there is a link, of course, to the show notes there. No comments? Okay.
Well,
No, it's true. It's true.
you know,
I was only sitting in the Apple store just on the weekend
Yeah.
and mentioning to my son, we were just sitting there watching a coding thing happening, and just we were just talking about how much education Apple give away, in those sort of sessions alone.
yeah. But we've been meaning to go and do these in-store Apple courses for a while now. We keep saying we're going to, but then, things like having babies happen and, stuff like that, that's, meaningless, but, it gets in the way. Oh, God.
Jeez, he's cruising for a bruise in this one.
Kellyanne said thank you, by the way, Garth. To you. He hasn't said anything to me.
So we've got big news. New partners for Apple Pay this week. Apple has also updated its running list of bank partners from around the world with lots of new entries.
Ooh.
This includes CommBank in Australia, which is one of the major banks in the country. CommBank announced last week that support would arrive sometime this month, and I can confirm today it has, because I set it up on my son's iPhone, and
Awesome.
he's got a CommBank. So you got Apple Pay with CommBank. So that whole, they're starting to cave.
Do we have it with NAB yet?
No.
No, sorry. Well, I got it a while ago with Suncorp, but I'm glad the rest of you are starting to catch up.
That's right. Yeah.
No, I had a lot of friends who were really excited about that.
But I don't know why NAB never jump on board these things at all. They still don't have cardless cash or anything like that. And look, don't get me wrong, I'm a loyal customer, but I'm starting to drift.
That's right. That's why I left the NAB and went to ANZ.
Yep, I'm thinking of doing the same because I want Apple Pay.
Yes. So you've got two choices now.
Yeah, I won't.
You've got lots of choices. You got lots of choices.
No. I would never go to CommBank. I just want to say that out loud.
Yeah. See, in my community, a lot of people who are on CommBank were really excited about this. I don't know if you guys have seen those Albert terminals around, those terminals that they have in coffee shops and places now where it's a touchscreen. Yeah. Really, really inaccessible. Really inaccessible for blind people. Yeah. So what do you got to do? You got to tell your PIN number to some shop assistant that, you're now voiding your insurance on the card by telling your PIN number. At least with Apple Pay, there's usually no limit on the, so normally it's okay because you don't go to a coffee shop and spend more than $100. Yeah. But for those instances where you do go over, Apple Pay, you don't have to worry about those limits.
Yeah.
So
if
Apple
you're spending
Pay
more than $100 at a coffee shop, you're going to have some serious caffeine.
Well, it's not. Coffee shops are not the only places that have those Albert terminals, though, right?
No, they don't.
But ANZ also introduced another new thing just recently with their Apple Pay. So if you've got a quote credit/debit card, when you activate your card on the phone to do a payment, it'll actually give you the choice whether you want it as credit or as a debit.
Well, awesome.
Yeah, okay.
So you don't have to pay. Yeah. You don't have to pay
the fee.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
Do you know when this came about, Michael? How long ago was this a new thing?
That was only a couple of weeks ago. That part of it. I've actually, and you have to. It says you have to, on your phone, uninstall your card and reinstall the card.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I've only got a debit card, so I did that, and I still don't get a choice when I'm at a terminal because I haven't got a credit/debit, which is fair enough. Yeah. So.
A Visa debit card. It's still a Visa debit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yours isn't a Visa debit.
Yeah.
So I would have thought that should work for you, but maybe it's not a dual. Yeah.
Must be something.
I'll try. Yeah. I've got. I've actually got 4 different cards on my watch now, so I'll remove and re-add one of them.
So there you go. Now a bit of history just around these cards, and this is from a piece by a guy Nicholas L. Johnson last April. So when stores, the big stores over in America, were asked about Apple Pay, they said, no, we're waiting for Current C, which CURRENT/C. So, and that was the response from a host of retailers when Apple launched its much-awaited Apple Pay in October 2014. And while Apple consumers were excited, many retailers didn't see much benefit. Apple Pay was built on top of existing credit and debit card infrastructure, and it was just a shiny new interface on the same old payment mechanisms. Currency was going to be different. For retailers, it was a way out. Many merchants don't like the 2 to 3% that the major card networks charge when consumers pay with credit, and that was all going to change. And I think Johnson's conclusion that currency solved the problem for retailers, not consumers, is exactly right. And currency disappeared, like never really even got off the ground.
First time hearing of it.
Oh yeah, it was an American thing, but because it was for the retailer and not for the consumer, they already get all of our information. Like which I've got a thing about that later on too. So,
Fair enough.
So, I think it's ad 1.
Yep.
Son. Just a reminder, we are brought to you by Aussie Tech Heads Podcasting. So if you're thinking about doing your own podcasting, get in touch with Glenn. He can help you out. He can guide you and chuck you up on Aussie Tech Heads, Aussie Tech Radio, which we'll talk about again soon. But yeah, Aussie Tech Heads Podcasting. Very great little place. Great little place.
They're fantastic.
Now, I just talked about the next story, which is Apple Pay in Australia now lets Visa users switch between the credit and debit card. So I'll skip that one.
Thank you, David. David says, excellent coverage.
I'm just looking through my wallet up now trying to find it.
Now, and a special call out to Hecky Deck. It's HECYDEC for giving us a YouTube comment last week. Thank you very much for paying attention.
Thank you. Excellent.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, Apple's Shot on iPhone challenge offers chance for users' photos to be featured in ads. And Apple has asked iPhone owners to submit their best photographs to the Shot on iPhone challenge, with images selected by the company able to be featured on billboards, Apple retail outlets, and online. Said to be celebrating the most stunning photographs captured on iPhone, the Shot on iPhone challenge runs from Jan 22 to Feb 7, so it's not that long. So I want people to get into it.
I might put a couple of photos we've taken in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, with participants submitting images via social media, or you can email, because that's the way I lodge them.
Yep.
I put 4 in 2 days ago. So
excellent.
Yeah. Now, a judging panel of 10 experts will review submissions and select 10 winning images from the collection. The photographs will be featured on the Apple newsroom, as well as the company's Instagram, WeChat, Twitter, and Weibo accounts, in Apple retail stores, on billboards, and Apple's internal exhibitions. Now, after this was released, a lot of people complain about, they're doing all this and, using your great photo. Recognition may not be enough for people, so they're offering prizes as well, which we don't know what they are yet, but there are prizes as well. Now,
I was happy to do it for nothing.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I'd be happy for the recognition as well. But so when I emailed my submissions, you had to put name _the model of phone that you shot the photo with. So if you and you're allowed to modify and use Apple software, other photo editing software.
Yep.
Or you can submit it. All mine were just plain pictures, unedited. And the second thing is, if you do a get info on the picture, it actually tells you what phone it was shot with. So my submissions were, from memory, one was from a 4S, 2 from a 6 Plus, and 1 from the 10, just off the top of my head. I think that's
okay. Yeah.
But yeah.
A 4S.
A 4S, that's right.
What if I hope they use that, by the way. I hope they just use 4S. That'd be fantastic. Just to show the resolution and quality of photo that they can still have from a 4S.
That's right.
They're not even up to date. They're so far behind now, and so that'd be great.
So that's good fun. So yeah, please get your entries in. It's worth it. Apple locks Fortune's most admired company title for 12 years in a row. Unfazed by iPhone sales or claims of stagnation, Apple on Tuesday claimed the top spot in Fortune's annual World's Most Admired Companies list for the 12th year in a row. Apple beat out rivals in every available reputation category, such as innovation, social responsibility, financial soundness, long-term investment value. Fortune's rankings are based on top 10 lists picked by some 3,750 executive analysis directors and experts. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So, anybody got any other stories? Because I've got a couple of big ones after this. But, yeah, anyone got stories? Any comments?
I've got absolutely nothing this week, as you know. I've been a little bit busy.
That's cool. I'll just
What
get
kind of
over the shit.
So I apologise, gentlemen.
So, our next one. Sydney Morning Herald reported Apple's Aussie profits grew, but its tax bill went down. Technology giant Apple's sales in Australia grew by more than $1 billion last year, as our commitment to its iPhone remains unshakable. But the amount of tax the multinational paid fell. Technology giant Apple's sales in Australia grew by more than $1 billion, lifting its profits as our commitment to its iPhone remains unshakable. But the amount of tax the multinational paid fell. Apple's accounts lodged with the corporate regulator on Friday show it had total sales of $9.08 billion in the year to September 29, 2018. That's up 13% from $8.04 billion in 2017. The iPhone maker returned a gross profit of $900 million from those sales, up from $756 million a year earlier. But its tax bill fell by $18.8 million to $164 million. Apple's accounts also included more than $500 million, up from $512 million, in selling general and administrative expenses, which are in addition to cost of sales. So including those unspecified expenses. Yeah, go. Sorry. Go, Garth.
$500 million up from $512 million.
Well, yeah, included more than $500 million. $543 million up from $512.
512.
Yeah.
Okay. Because the way it reads, it was,
Yeah, it
$500 million up
is
from some bigger number.
Some other number.
So, using that figure, Apple's accounts say it paid a tax rate of 30%, Australia's official corporate tax rate, which its total payment to the tax office consisting of $119 million bill plus $15 million in expenses not deductible for tax purposes, and under provision from previous years of $30 million. But in 2017, Apple had a higher under provision of $90 million, whatever this under provision is. So the Australian Tax Office latest tax transparency report showed that Apple and fellow tech giants Microsoft and Facebook were all paying a tax rate of 30%, based on what the figures that they tell us. So still good money, but yes.
Yeah.
Not bad at all.
Yeah.
Well, you can't, you wouldn't poke a stick at it, would you?
No.
It'd be interesting to know what
business tax rate.
Yeah, that's right. So now, add two, I think it is, Zarn, which is the reminder that this week we are brought to you by AussieTechRadio.com, which has, of course, got Aussie Tech Heads, Aussie Max Zone, Old Fart Geeks, The Obsidian Loft, Geeks Interrupted, Two Blokes Talking Tech, Vertical Hold, Let's Talk Leadership, Apple Slice. Just there's a few of the podcasts that you can get when you're listening 24/7 in the background while you're slaving away.
Aussie Max Zone's obviously our preferred one you listen to.
But they're all happening for you 24/7. You just get it up, start it off, and away you go.
That's
Keep
right.
working away. Now here's a big one that yeah. Now here's a big story that I'm expecting everybody to comment on. So if you just let me, it's a big story. So now The Age, which is our Melbourne newspaper, details of 1 million Australians added to giant marketing database without their knowledge. More than 1 million Australians have had their name and address added to the electoral roll and then automatically passed to global marketing giants without their knowledge. Direct enrolment laws passed by Parliament in 2012 meant Australians no longer had to register on the electoral roll to have their details entered. With the information of workers and school students stand from driver's licence, Centrelink and records from the Board of Studies in each state, the electoral roll has since handed over to credit check operators for identification purposes, designed to help financial services firms such as banks, Afterpay and Zip to run fraud, anti-money laundering and anti-terrorism checks. But for 4 of those identity firms are now running global marketing operations using data analytics. Now, no government body has been able to advise if anybody is monitoring the companies for breaches of the Electoral Act, which carries fines for using the data in commercial operations, or if they are monitoring the separation of data between the company's identification and marketing arms. The Sydney Morning Herald and The Age revealed this week that Exim, which is AXCIOM, Experian, Global Data, and Ilion, which is formerly known as Dun & Bradstreet, all have access to the electoral roll as prescribed authorities. But in their secondary businesses, each boasts of their ability to provide marketing data analytics on millions of Australians to their clients, but maintain they are in full compliance with the Privacy Act and do not use the data for marketing purposes. Axiom and Global Data have not responded to multiple requests for comment. An auto-reply email from Axiom said data monetization awaits, and the only non-marketing firm among the group, US credit check giant Equifax, had the records of 145.5 million hacked in a breach in 2017 and was fined 3.5 million by the federal court last year for misleading, deceptive and unconscionable contact. So what do we think about that? All our kids' names and addresses and contact details available for marketing, whether you like it or not.
It's absolutely disgusting.
Whether they've signed up for a credit card, anything like that.
Like, what the heck? Why do we not have a say in this?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. Why? Yeah.
I wonder in what, like, when you say, when you say available to marketing, I wonder how it's used.
Well, they've got your name and email address, possibly. They've definitely got your name and address and your email address.
For them to make some claims that they are compliant, I would imagine they're using much like Apple do in terms of aggregated data.
Yeah, but if my kid's still at school, because it hasn't said, they haven't necessarily got onto even the electoral roll yet because they're not 18.
Yeah, yeah.
So therefore, they don't have a credit card. The only possible extra data they could get, for example, is so they signed up for a bank account at school with like CommBank, for example, like you used to do when you were in primary school.
Yeah, once you're 16, you can do that anyway.
Yeah.
Off your own account.
Yeah.
So anyone over 16 can,
Well, that's basically how all McDonald's people get paid, as far as I know. So
yeah,
you've got to have a bank account.
Yeah.
But
so anyone over 16 has like medical privacy and ability to go and get a Visa debit card and so forth. So yeah, I know this sounds really bad, but I wonder what the ins and outs really are. You know what I mean? Yeah.
It's we would like to know if someone could tell us that we're wrong or we're over. The story's over. It's definitely not fake news, but it's are they overstating the
what does it mean though? Really, what are they actually doing with the data? How are they using the data?
It's not fake news, definitely, but yeah, exactly. That's what I want to know. I want to know how they're using the data and why.
Yeah.
Like,
because they've got availability. Why? Because the business. Why not?
I understand why Dun & Bradstreet.
I've got information. I want to make money.
Yeah, like Dun & Bradstreet and stuff like that, whatever they're called now. I understand why they want to be able to find that information out because they want to try to do, collect their collection agencies.
Yeah.
And so they want to be able to, find the people that owe money, and so that's fine. But if they're passing that on, to whoever, you're wondering how far it's going.
Well, if it's all in one computer system.
Yeah, exactly.
What stops the researchers and the marketing people looking at the same bit of information?
That's right.
Yeah. I think that's one of your biggest risks in this sort of thing.
Yeah.
And you know, it was highlighted in that article around how, what's it called, Equifax had that giant leak in 2017, not last year anymore. I think that's part of the biggest risk.
Yeah.
The company, that sort of thing. Also, the fact that, you know, much like we saw, I don't know, did you guys cover the thing that happened with Ring door? You know, the Ring door. You know,
No, not really. Yeah, not yet.
Doorbell.
No.
Yeah. So that sort of came out over the Christmas break as well. That at one point there, Ring had made, for anyone who hasn't seen this story, Ring had organized a company in Russia or somewhere.
Yeah, the Ukraine or the
hired them
Baltic
to be
state
able,
or something.
Yeah, that's right. To you know, use some machine learning so that the algorithms could be taught how to recognize a dog, how to recognize a person at the front door, use all this video information from Ring doorbells. Is that what are they called? Ring.
Yes.
Anyway,
They were Ring doorbells, but it ended up they didn't only use the Ring doorbell. Yeah.
Well, they used the data. They used the video was made available, and the easiest way to make it available, thought Amazon, was to just, you know, give them access. But in doing so, they've given access to anyone in the company to be able to look at anyone's data. So if I was a rogue employee, I could easily pull up, well, let's pull up I don't know, Michelle Pfeiffer's or whoever's, you know, see who can you find? And you can just imagine, man, you should see what I caught on the video the other day, and pass it around amongst the employees and all that sort of stuff. That in any of these situations, there's always that guy who will do that, you know?
And like they've told us already, like, we know that the government's security services can't be trusted, but they're the ones that are trying to get hacked the most. People are, you know, Russia's trying to get America, America's trying to get Russia, whatever.
China's trying to get everybody.
They're the ones that are being chased the most, and they're the ones that are more likely to lose the information. So we can't give it, you know.
They've got the most. Yeah, they've got the most valuable information. They're going to be attacked the most. It's like, you know, why did Windows always have more viruses than Macs always used to? Because the Windows world was a much bigger target. Much, you know,
exactly
target for hackers to try and get. Same thing.
Yeah. So, but yes, we would like to know
this huge collection of data of high value in a single place. You're asking for asking to be hacked.
Now, I've got a couple good.
Sorry, I'm still ranting.
Go for it.
Which underlines Apple's insistence on privacy. Because I think as they get more and more health data, and even what they have currently with the number of users, the number of high-profile users, it's just they have to be so very careful.
Yeah,
because they are becoming, if not already, the biggest targets on the planet.
Yeah, and that's why I think they autonomize it so early on instead of making 50 decisions, then saying, oh, we don't know where this data came from. We know, like, for example, when they're improving their maps, they're not getting the beginning of us, they're not getting the end of us, they're choosing a little bit in the middle from, you know, a million people every day. So
doing all sorts of things like that to try and mitigate the risk.
Yeah. So now I've got a couple of FYIs to end. So find iPhone encrypted backup password in keychain on your MacBook or keychain access. So I had a family member spend a night backing up the family iPhones to do the pass down. You know, when we get a new one, he passes his to his missus, the missus passes theirs to the kids, blah, blah, blah. So, the pass down. And when they got a new one the other day, so when they came to do the restore from the encrypted backup, they could not remember the password. So, assuming that you've ticked keep password in keychain, this is how you get the password back. You open Keychain Access, which is in Utilities folder. In the search box, you type iPhone backup. You click, that'll bring up a little box. You click Show Password. You enter your computer login, and there it is. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Works really well.
That's fantastic. Excellent.
Get so many cool things out of there.
Yeah. That's why you don't give anyone your password for your computer, because they can get all your passwords.
Everything. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah. Now, a couple of little music apps to talk about. One's called Musician. It's an app for iOS and Mac and Windows and Android. Now, it's an educational app with a game component that helps beginners to learn guitar, piano, bass, ukulele, and supports professional musicians in their daily practice. Another one is called Simply Piano, and it's by Joy Tunes. Now, pardon me, Simply Piano is a fast and fun way to learn piano from beginner to pro. Works with any piano or keyboard. Chosen as one of the best iPhone apps for 2016, so it's been around for a while and getting better.
Yep.
It's got tons of songs like Imagine, Chandler, All of Me, Counting Stars, as well as Johann Sebastian Bach. It includes courses for different musical tastes and playing levels. You can learn the basics step by step from reading sheet music to playing with both hands. You can slow down the library songs to choose your own pace for easy learning, and personalised 5-minute workouts, ensuring you progress fast and always succeed. So that was another one I like the look of for learning how to play the piano, like on your keyboard.
Yeah.
You've got the USB keyboards that are reasonably priced, and you can just sit there and bang away and learn it. Really cool. Now, this one I think is for Zarn for sure.
Yeah.
This is what we're doing, is we're getting some information in early so everyone can prepare. So all the comics books you can get for free on Free Comic Book Day.
Yes.
This year's Free Comic Book Day isn't happening until May, but we are already a bit of an idea of what will be available on May 4th. Free Comic Book Day recently released a full list of this year's free comics, and it looks pretty fantastic. There are 12 gold sponsor comics and 39 silver sponsors this year, with options ranging from Avengers to Stranger Things. So we'll have a link to how to get set up and ready for Free Comic Book Day. Maybe put a couple of reminders before the 4th of May.
I'm already ready.
Yeah,
I've been ready since
May the 4th. Be with you.
I was already ready. Like last year, like we got home from Free Comic Book Day, and I was already for the next.
So
we had a really good time last year. We went to the Powerhouse Museum.
Yeah.
And they had the Star Wars display there. Okay. And Mason got the, fight Darth Vader, and we all got photos with a whole bunch of characters from Star Wars. We got to play with B-88. What else did we do? I got photos in what do you call it? Oh, mind blank. Anyway, I like not a TIE fighter. Luke Skywalker's fighter. Life of me right at the moment, but yeah. And it was really good. Then we went up to into the city a bit further. I like to go to Kinnikinea to get my comics, just because it's a little bit faster, and there's a lot more range of books there, so the kids can also look at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So I can get my comic books, and we can go over to the kids section and have a look at kids' books and stuff like that. And so the kids are actually having a good time too.
Yeah. So just in keep in mind, May the 4th.
Be with you.
And we'll have a link of how you can get more information about that.
Yes.
Anybody got anything else before I start doing
I've got a little story or two.
Excellent.
Little story or two. So, I don't know, my son has an iPhone 7, and for the last 2 or 3 months, he hasn't been able to hear, like, the microphone doesn't work.
Yep.
Right? So, you can't use it to make normal phone calls. If he plugs in a set of Lightning headphones, still doesn't work. Still no microphone, can't use Siri, nothing.
Okay.
Bluetooth, Bluetooth headphones, works just fine. He can use Bluetooth.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he lost his AirPods. So for the last little while, we've been basically just texting. You know, it's SMS or nothing. Anyway, he finally got around to making an Apple Store appointment, and that was for Sunday just gone. Sunday just gone.
Yeah.
Yesterday. So he made his Apple Store appointment last week sometime. Come Thursday, his iPhone case was broken, and he's got a new one on order. So he took the iPhone out of the broken case and had it naked. A couple of hours later, of course, what happened? He dropped it, smashed the screen. He's all worried about the fact that, when he goes for the appointment, they're not going to believe him about the headphone, the microphone not working.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because clearly he's damaged the phone, it's going to void his warranty sort of thing. He's just sort of said, this is the problem. Didn't even mention the cracks, nothing about the headphone cracks. Said, can't make a receive phone call. I can't use it for that sort of stuff. And he's obviously done his research in the meantime, and there's a loop disease or something like they call it.
Okay.
Because it does mean the iPhone takes a long time to start up as well.
Yeah.
On a reboot. So this is a known thing apparently for iPhone 7s and I think maybe one other model. Anyway, they did a test or two, took it out the back, did another test, and brought him back a brand new iPhone 7.
Wow.
Wow.
So
It's a great story.
didn't cost him a thing. Total brand new phone. Just when he had cracked the screen and
Excellent.
after having it for nearly 18 months.
Yeah.
So it was still within the 2 years.
Yeah.
But not, outside of the 12 months, but within the 2 years.
Yep.
Yep.
Brand new phone. So thank you, Apple.
Thank you, Apple. Yeah.
Apple.
And I'm proud of him for doing his research first.
I reckon.
Did he give it to them over with his mask and rubber gloves on and say, this has got loop disease?
I was standing there and he's starting to talk about, it's this, and this. And I'm thinking, just shut up, man. Just tell him the symptoms.
Yeah.
Don't be his know-it-all. Didn't harm his outlook.
No, that was excellent.
So,
that's great.
yeah.
That's great.
So
While I was
congratulations,
there,
Apple, again. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I picked up one of the Apple battery cases while I was there as well for my iPhone 10.
Okay.
I'll probably will only keep it in my bag and just use it when I need it.
Yeah.
Because it is, bulkier, and I really do like the leather folio case that I have it in.
Yeah.
But there are occasions where I really need my phone and it is really flat.
Wait a minute,
And,
Garth. Did you just say iPhone 10?
10s, I should say.
Oh, so you got a new phone?
I got the 10s when it came out, yeah. And
I didn't know.
iPhone,
I didn't find it. Well, how did we not find this out? Did you not mention this before?
I'm pretty sure I did, because I remember ranting on about how expensive the portfolio cases were.
Oh, that's right. Yes, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there you go. I listened to you. Garth, jeez. Man, come on.
Yeah. No, you're probably too busy worrying about a heavily pregnant wife or something.
Something like that. I don't worry.
I don't think he's ever worried about that.
No.
Of course he does. He's concerned and loving. He's loving.
Oh, you don't know that. That is definitely true.
Yeah.
But
I just saw David E. There's also a friend of the show on Facebook. I just saw that in the background while people were talking. Hello, David.
Yeah, David's been on. I got one of my mates too there, Peter Henderson. It's Hendo Peterson there, but it's my mate Petey. I've got another mate that's come in too. Scott's come in. Scott. We fixed his computers more than once. And I now have his old computer. and my mate Jamie there as well. So there's a few, we've got a few watchers, listeners, and all sorts of stuff.
Good on you, fellas.
Yeah.
And I had an incident with my watch today. So I just went, like you tap it to get you to show different things, and it went, instead of going tap, it went clunk. And I looked at it and went, oh, the screen's not connected to the case. So I'm guessing the battery probably swollen up.
Oh.
I'm guessing.
Maybe.
Well, I haven't even looked at it really closely. So.
That happened to my Gen Zero watch.
Yeah, that's what mine is.
It was the glue. Oh, it is the Gen Zero.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's a great excuse to get a new watch.
Well, I've had a one of my customers is a pawnbroker, and I've told him when he gets his first Series 4, the current one.
Yep. It's yours.
I've got my name on it. Yeah.
Yep.
So yes, waiting for them.
Yes.
So,
I also had an incident late last year with my phone, my trusty 6S Plus. I just had it repaired. Oh, Michael just had it repaired.
As the case
Yes, as the case may be. And we had a big storm down here, and so I was shutting garages because our garage leaks really badly, and I was shutting cars, and I put my phone down on the bench outside the garage, but under cover, and unfortunately it was raining that heavy that the water came underneath the awning and absolutely flooded my phone. And I didn't realize it was there, like, because I was running around trying to close everything up because there was hail and, it was quite full on. And I was just, trying to, and I ran back inside because the boys were outside with me as well. So I've got them inside, and, then I've got inside and I'm like, have you got my phone? And I said that to Caroline. She's like, no. And I'm like, oh, shit. Oops, sorry, I didn't swear. Crap. And ran outside and I found it in probably 2.5 inches of water. And so, yeah.
That's all good.
Now I've got a 5S.
Oh, it wasn't all good.
No. Phone's
No.
died.
6S, maybe not so much.
Yeah.
10S would have been fine.
Yeah. That
iPhone 7.
Yeah.
That iPhone 7 of my son's. We found he couldn't find it the other day. Been off to an appointment, came back, went out again, came back. Found it on top of the car.
Yep.
It has a magnetic case on it, so it was magnetized to the roof of the car.
Oh my God!
The car had been
so
out and back a couple of times, but thankfully, because of the magnetic case,
that's fantastic.
It hadn't gotten anywhere.
I need a magnetic case. My iPhone 6 had gone through the walls, and we were taking the boys out to Richmond to watch the planes land and take off and stuff like that. And,
that's the Richmond Air Force Base.
Yeah, Richmond Air Force Base. City. They've got what are they called? Hercules there. And so we're over there watching them and everything like that. And I've put my phone on the roof to put the boys in the car, buckled them in, jumped in the car, took off. And then I went around the corner. I was drove for about, I don't know, 5Ks, and just happened to sort of zip around a corner a little bit quickly, and the phone must have fallen off the roof of the car then, because I realized I'd lost it about Katie after it happened, and Kelly went in to find my phone, and I found it on the side of the road in really high grass, and luckily that it flung off and into the high grass.
Yes.
Probably would have smashed.
Softened the impact.
But it softened the impact of the phone because it had no case on it or anything like that. And it softened the impact of the fall, and it just landed on this nice soft bit of grass, and it was just sitting there fine, working, ringing, everything.
How do you like Find My iPhone?
I know.
Yes. Okay.
Well,
yep.
And so were the days of how we abused it.
Our phones, yes.
I'm the worst for it too. It's like
I did it once about 25 years ago with a phone that was like a brick.
Yep.
I'm glad it didn't hit anyone, Would have dented the car if it had like it. So that's the last time I did it. I never put my phone in dumb places.
Do not put it on the roof.
I know, when I'm charging it next to my bed, it's always face down, so that if I knock something in the middle of the night and it doesn't land on it, when I keep it in my workshop right now, it's just sitting here next to me, face down, so I can't drop anything on it and crack the screen. Never put it in my top pocket, so that when you lean forward and put it in the toilet, all those silly little things that you do, or drop it down the stairs, or so just one of those things you just keep learning from the mistakes.
Unfortunately, I'm a slow learner.
Yes. There's a few of us out here.
I think in the first 12 months of me having the iPhone 6 Plus, S Plus, I went through, was it 4 or 5 of them?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that they gave me brand new phones because I'd broken them, and it was luckily it was insured. So I'm not silly, and so I think I went either 4 or 5, and then Michael was like, "Buy a bloody case."
Yeah.
So I did. I brought a case, and I bought this fantastic, like $100, submersible case, and I had that on there forever, and it worked fantastically, and never ever broke it again. And then I took it because I'd paid for it outright, and the phone was now mine, and I got it off insurance and everything like that, and went with a different plan. Took it out of the case to put a new SIM card in because I'd gone with another company. And while doing that and putting the new SIM card in, I dropped my phone.
All right. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to do it. You moron.
So, yeah.
Oh, that's terrible.
I have no luck.
That's so bad. I'm sorry.
The iPhone 5S I got now, Michael's lent me. And it's in a case, and I haven't taken it out of that case. It just stays in the case. God forbid I break this thing because I've got no other phone to go to.
Wow, don't worry. Those kids of yours will grow up one day and hand them down to you.
Yeah,
that's right. So, that was my plan. I was going to hand mine down to, I was actually going to give the 6 to my dad.
Yeah.
And I was going to get a 10. But after breaking the 6,
No.
I wasn't allowed to get a 10.
I don't think you've earned the right to a new phone yet, Zarn.
No,
I think you're going to have to show me that you can look after your toys before I buy you any more new ones.
That's right. And so they're the rules at my house. I'm not allowed a new phone.
Yeah.
No.
So I was going to go buy a 7 because they got cheap 7s out at Wetherill Park. And I was going to go buy one of them, and I wasn't allowed to do that either. I'm literally stuck with a 5S.
You'll be fine.
I learned my lesson.
You'll be okay. Don't want to hear any whingings.
Nope. I'm not complaining. I've got a telephone. Like, it works. I'm happy.
My biggest complaint, I'm just going to end the show on a complaint before I do the promotions, is why haven't we got eSIMs on our phones yet?
Oh my God, I don't know why.
No one will tell me. I make it a point to go to the stores in Penrith, the Telstra stores and the Vodafone stores and the Optus stores, and say, "Oh, I want to buy a iPhone R, or I say 10 or whatever," and say, "Now I want to activate the eSIM first, but before I do anything else." Oh, we don't do that. Okay, thanks a lot. I'll try another store.
You can get eSIMs though. But they're all online companies. Like, you can't go to like a major distributor.
I don't know whether they're in Australia yet.
Are you sure? Because I was listening or watching an ad the other day. It might be iiNet, or I think it was iiNet. And iiNet, it was on the radio. iiNet, and they were advertising eSIMs.
Don't know.
So
iiNet, I think they're Optus anyway, aren't they?
Oh, they might be. Maybe that's, I don't know. Like,
that's the problem right there.
It might have been. I might have been on the phone to TPG trying to sort out my phone, and it was. It might have been TPG, and they were talking about. They're with Vodafone though. Like,
they're with Vodafone now, are they?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I don't know.
So why would they have it but not Vodafone? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
Or is it just for the iPads and the? So,
well, maybe it was for the iPad
and for your watch and stuff. But anyway.
Yes, actually. Yeah,
like, you can already get them. Wait, what's the difference? What's the difference between a watch making a phone call and a telephone making a phone call?
Control.
Ask Dick Tracy.
Anyway.
All right, I think we've rambled on enough now.
We have. We definitely rambled.
So, promotion, the show notes link each week on the show upload. The link being https://aussiemaczone.com.au, and you go there and you go to the news section and there'll be the last 5 weeks show notes there. Spotify, you can just search for Aussie Mac Zone.
Apple Podcasts, you can just search for Aussie Mac Zone.
That's right. So leave us a message. Anyone want to be on the show, just send me a message.
Yep.
Thanks to our sponsors this week First, thank you very much, Garth,
Pleasure.
for coming back.
Pleasure.
That's awesome.
Yes, it is.
Thank you very much, Zarn, for doing
you.
your switching and stuff. Excellent. Thanks to our sponsors this week being Aussie Tech Heads Podcasting and Aussie Tech Radio. And most importantly, our supporters, you, our listeners. Over to you, Zarn.
Thank you to everyone, our listeners, everyone I've been here for a year now, I think.
Oh.
Almost a year, somewhere around that. And it's been fantastic. And I want to continue it. So, yeah, thank you. And remember, what is it? Apple a day keeps the Androids away. Thanks, guys. See you later.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Garth.
Very good. Very good. Yeah, already, hey?
That's close to it.